Hey y'all, welcome back. So today I want to do a mid-year planner Hobonichi update, journal update for you. I um, have all of these beautiful things here that I, picked up last year in the Hobonichi launch, and all very exciting. And the short version of this update is I've only used a little bit of this stuff. So, to get us started, I purchased last year in the drop, I purchased 3 weeks. I had the idea that one would be my planner, one would be like a um, financial budgeting health kind of tracker thing. And then I thought about, I think this one I thought about using for scripture writing and prayer requests. And well, none of these have been used. Here is this beautiful one. I can't remember the name of it, but literally, like, I set it up a little bit, which for me never includes a whole lot. And then at the start of the year, I wrote in something, I feel like, on January. Nope, didn't. I don't think I've used this a single time. I have written nothing in this. So completely beautiful blank weeks. This one, let's see where that ribbon is. Is it somewhere that has some writing? Oh yeah, look, I wrote something. I wrote a little bit in here. So I did just a tiny bit of financial tracking, it would appear, and wrote some things that I didn't buy that I wanted to buy. So, but that's it. Literally 1 week, the first week of January. Never used it again. This is the cutest weeks though. I love it. And then this one, I don't think I wrote in it at all either. I'm actually gonna pull it back to check it because, if it is written in, then it's a prayer request or something. But nope, nothing. Completely empty. So there we are. Last year, it was about mid-year before I started using my weeks planner. And then in the fall, I felt like I really needed it. I even put some pictures and things in here, all set up, ready. There's a pen that I haven't used, obviously, since January because it's been sitting there. Last year, I started using my planner in the fall and used it pretty much through the end of the year. So, like, I've been kind of like holding it, thinking, okay, maybe that will be a need again later this year. I even stocked up last year, or I guess the start of this year, on a whole bunch of Coffee Monsters Co. stickers. Some of these I did already have, but like I bought a bunch. And then there were some that a friend gave me and such, but all ready for my new year of planning. And here they sit, unused, because I haven't used my planner. The truth is, like, I'm sad that I haven't used these because they're beautiful, and they're cute. And I do love the like feel of them, and like, I like the paper fine. I miss the old Tomoe River paper, but I like it. I like it. I just like Hobonichi. I like the weeks. They're small and compact and cute. Unfortunately, I don't really feel like I'm the kind of person who wants to use a 2025 weeks in another year. Like, I'm just not a person who's going to go redate a whole planner, or, maybe I would use it just to doodle in or whatever. But I hate having these sitting here wasting away. At the same time, like, I for sure want one of them in case I want a planner in the fall, but um I don't want to let go of these, and at this point it's money spent on these. Like, I don't know, I'm not that concerned about them. I bought them from Hobonichi directly and had free shipping, so they weren't very expensive. So they'll probably stay here. One that I probably will let go of is this Hone. I bought this one to use at work. And once again, I don't think I ever even took it to work. I don't think. Maybe I took it in my bag for a couple of days and never started using it. With the little back cover got bent there. And then one little corner, little tiny piece of the corner here is bent. But I mean, it's brand new basically. You know, I have clear covers for all these things that I took off just because they were, gonna be glary in this video. But I got this because it was so pretty. Like, I didn't buy it in my first purchase, I bought it in the second round, and here it is. And so, I mean, it's a waste, like, it is a waste to have bought these things and not use them. Now, this cover has been used a lot. The cover's not a part of the wasteful part, but yeah, I just, like, part of me feels guilty, and part of me, that's where I was going with that, is like, I don't feel guilty. Like, I've been using my calendar in my phone. My phone is always with me. The place where I work, like, I don't have to have a paper calendar there. Everything is Google based and such, and so that's where everybody's putting things. And I just, like, I don't really want to have to duplicate things because I'll probably miss something. I don't know, like, I'm fine with not having a planner on me right now. So anyway, that's where these are. Not all hope is lost here, because these two items, and I want to get these out of my way, these two items have been used almost every single day. So this is my Hobonichi 5-year Techo. And I have a little blotting sheet in here. I love these pretty Esterbrook blotting sheets. I don't really need it for blotting because I don't use fountain pens in here, but I use it for my hand because I put lotion on at night right before I use this. Like, I try to remember to not put the lotion on before I do this, but sometimes I do. And so I use this to keep me from getting too much on the pages, since I'll be using it for 5 years. I keep a Retro 51 in here. I have changed it out a couple of times to different retros, but something about the little cursive one, I don't know, I feel like is just appropriate for this. But this 5-year Techo is my gratitude journal. And I have written in it, well, I've written on every single day for this year. There have been, probably 8 or 10 times that I've missed one day and had to go back and rewrite for yesterday, and 3 or 4 times that I've had to go back and write something for 2, 3, 4, 5 previous days. I don't really feel like, like, I know what I was grateful for on those days. Like, just because I didn't stop and think, what am I grateful for today, doesn't mean that I wasn't grateful. You know what I mean? So, like, it's not hard to go back and think, oh, on that day, here's what I was grateful for. Let me see if I can find something that I don't mind sharing. So this is what a typical day looks like. I said I'm grateful for Sunday afternoon naps after a busy weekend, and so grateful that Rudy was good for my mom to babysit. Rudy is my dog, and my mom came and kept him while I went on a little trip. And I came back, went to church, took a nap, and yeah, so that was something I was grateful for. Sometimes, it's all different kinds of things. Sometimes it's just like, I'm grateful that I made it through today. I will sometimes use a highlighter and a pen here to write, like, important days. Like, July 1st is Rudy's birthday, and so I wrote Rudy's birthday at the top. I put birthday because it's an estimated birthday, but and highlight it. If it's something that, like, is on a different date, like Father's Day is not on, June 16th every year, then I write it, like, within the day. I'll write it here. I'll write Father's Day and highlight it. So that I can kind of flip through and find important things pretty quickly, like important days. So yeah, this is something that I have kept up with and will continue to, I hope, for 5 years. I'm the only person in my family, my immediate family, who journals at all. I mean, people take pictures. My mom and my sister and my dad, they take pictures, but nobody else journals. So I don't want to say that I like feel a burden or anything to keep a journal, but I like that I can record things about my family that can stand the test of time. So anyway, that's my 5-year journal, my gratitude journal. I really like this snap cover. I love this button on there. With the bee and the flower, I think it's so nice. I don't really see myself getting a different cover, at least for a couple of years. It does show a little bit of wear, though I haven't, I've carried it back and forth like on some little trips and stuff. But overall it still looks good because it just lives on my bedside table. It doesn't like it travels with me a little bit, but it doesn't like go in my everyday bag or anything. So I think that's going to hold up fine. I really like the feel and I don't know. I really like this cover a lot. So maybe after 2 or 3 years, I would consider getting a different cover if this one's looking worn or I just really feel like I want to change. But for now, I'm happy with it. Last but not least is my journal. So I did not go with the Hobonichi cousin this year. I went with something a little simpler. The Sterling Ink Common Planner, I think is the one it is. Let me see. Sterling Ink. Oh, the daily planner. The A5 full year daily planner. And I have filled this up with some stickers. Like, this is just things that I've gotten throughout the year from different purchases I've made and just random stickers I've picked up places. This is my real my real personal Blockbuster card from December 12th of 2005. So I was in college and we still went to Blockbuster back then. Just thought that was kind of fun to have in here. I record on the months, the temperature, the high temperature, and then just a little highlight of the day. And yeah, so that's how I use the monthlies. And then the dailies is where I journal every day. Sometimes I get a little behind and I have to go back and fill in. But this is where I use my fountain pens the most in my life, is in here. I'm going to flip this a little bit so it's not showing. But in here I put stickers on most days. I put photos in here of different events and things. I use these stickers, so I'm part of a sticker club from a Patreon called Nettle and Twig. I've told you about them before, and each month she sends out one of these full page monthly stickers, and so I've been sticking those on the start page for the month, before the first. So there's that. In the back, I write all the pens that I have inked, and let's see. And in the corner of my page, I'll show you this. On the corner of my page, usually it's more in the middle, but yesterday I wrote it on this side. I write which pen I was using, so that I can just check the back instead of used to I would every day write what pen and what ink it was. And so that just saves me a small step. Truthfully, I could use just a notebook, but I like having the date already printed and the day of the week. And when I miss 2 or 3 days, there's no question what those days were that I missed because they're dated. So I just it's not I need to figure out how many pages I need to skip. So anyway, I use this every day. I don't I use this every day. Like I said, sometimes I'll miss something and I will have to go back and fill in. But this is my journal. Last year it was full of way more photos because my niece was born last year, and she's in here all over the place this year as well. but not quite as much as she was last year, because last year I put in a picture of her almost every single day of the year after she was born. So this one is not quite going to be not be quite this one is not going to be quite as thick, which is my preference. I'm not in this to like chunk up a journal. In fact, my last year journal kind of bugs me how thick it is. You know, it's going to need like a rubber band around it to be put away. And this one, you know, we're a little bit more than halfway through the year. And then there's the monthlies up here at the front too that kind of you can take out, but you know, it's going to get a little thicker, but not so much. I'm really conscious of like if I put a picture on this spot today, then when I flip it tomorrow, I try to put a picture where it lines up here so that I don't have like all my pictures in the same spot on all the pages. Does that make sense? So that it doesn't get like really thick, you know, like at the bottom or at the top or something. Maybe that's a weird thing to do. Like I noticed at one point that my pages were really like there's a bump right here. Actually, I can feel it because I very often will put a sticker down at the bottom corner. You know, it's a good spot for a sticker. And so like I can feel the spots where my book is a little thicker. And so I'm trying not to create too many hills and valleys in my journal. But I'm going to go again next year for another Sterling Ink daily planner, just like this one. My only qualm with this when I got it was that the texture of the cover, which is really a nice texture, but it's kind of rubbery, it doesn't slip in and out of any cover easily. And when I'm using these the way that I do, I need them to be able to slip just a little bit. Otherwise, you end up with this crazy thing where you use your book and then you can't close it. And so I covered it like you saw with a piece of plastic, and that worked out fine. I think it was the plastic that came with it, or maybe it came with, I don't know, maybe it came on a Hobonichi cover or something. But I just covered the outside and now it slides in and out pretty good. You know, it's not quite as slick as like the cardboard of the Hobonichi. But anyway, I have been loving this cover. This cover is a few years old. It's not a new one. It's not from last year. Let's see if there's a date. Sometimes there's a little date on the tag. But I don't know, something I saw maybe one in somebody's video and just felt so drawn to it. And like I remember seeing it on Hobonichi's website. I need to not pick at that. Thinking it looked kind of like grungy or something. Like I didn't like the way the colors meshed. But the more that I saw it, the more that I have just fallen in love with it. And I've had this on here for probably 4 or 5 months without changing it. I do have several covers that will stay in my collection that I really like and I will use again. But I am also cleaning out my cover collection for both the A5 and the A6. I use little A6 Hobonichi notebooks. Sometimes it's just the little tear out notebooks like these. They're not really fountain pen friendly, not super fountain pen friendly. Sometimes I use those in an A6 cover. You know, I have a couple of old like Dave Freeze and things, and they're just kind of around my house for me to grab and just jot something down. I keep one next to my bed with this. That's like if I wake up in the middle of the night and I need to write something down, or something's on my mind before bed and I can't go to sleep and I need to get up and just write down like a note or a list or something. That's right by my bed. So I'm making use of some of my A6 covers and notebooks in that way, but they don't go with me everywhere. They're not daily use like these two things are. The other two notebooks, well, quickly, this cover is the one that I use to travel with, and I really love it. I love these bunnies. I do keep the styrofoam to put back in there, but yeah, I mean, this planner goes right in here when I travel. I have taken this one with me to travel, like just to my parents' house or whatever. But yeah, this one I have used to travel a couple of times, and I really like it. You can zip it up. Usually when I do that, I just take one pen and just put it in the pen loop in there, and it's great. I really like these textile covers more than anything. So I'm trying to really downsize those, like the normal the normal Hobonichi covers, and get more use out of these nice ones, which I will not purchase, of course. Well, I say of course, but I will not purchase as frequently as I did the regular ones, because those were a lot cheaper, you know? So, and not just that, but I just love these. Like they're so luxurious to use and they feel so good. So, anyway, the last two notebooks, and I need to go get something to drink. Um, the last two notebooks that I use regularly are these two, and this one is one of these. So here's a new one from Walmart. They're 99 cents. Little spiral notebook. And wow, this one's so nice and like neat and tidy, because this one has been beat up. It's been in my purse, it gets thrown around. All these stickers someone gave me at work, and I just kind of stuck them on there, even though I'm not, I'm not super happy with it or anything, but like this is full of lists, and like sometimes it's like a grocery list, and sometimes it's like, a list of books I want to read or movies I want to watch that just comes to me. And like, yes, I could be putting those in a week's. Like I could be putting those lists in a week's, but something about this that I just don't care about, I really enjoy. I saw this on Sam's channel. She was called Sam Plans. What is she called now? Earthy Sam? Something like that. Y'all probably know if you're Hobonichi people. But she uses these notebooks. And this one, I started using this one. I'm sure I didn't show you my phone number. But I started using this one like nearly 2 years ago, I think. And it's not nearly full. It's about half full. Still going strong, but I don't feel bad tearing a page out of this, just scribbling whatever. I've got a few church notes in there. I've got a few, all kinds of things in there. Love these and highly recommend them. Like a field notes would work as well too, but you can't tear out field notes as easy. Like I don't want to do that. I just really like these little spiral ones. You'll flip them back. They're pretty fountain pen friendly, actually quite fountain pen friendly. It does not go through the page for me. Whereas a field notes never is. So I love those and I recommend them. And my other notebook I use regularly is this Stalogy, which is for my church notes. So I use this on Sundays and Wednesdays, and I take my church notes in here. So use a fountain pen a lot of the time. Sometimes I just use a ballpoint, but I really, really like this notebook. It's thin. Like I slip it inside my Bible when I'm going to church, and the back I've written some of the pens that I've taken with me that I'm like, I think I might look back one day and go, I wonder what pen I was using. So I kind of made a list in the back. But anyway, I've kind of kept it clean, no stickers or anything, because I don't want to get sick of them. And like I'm taking this out in church and want it to be kind of tidy, But those are the two things that I use. So out of the 4 things that I use the most, only one of them is Hobonichi, if you don't count the covers. This one has a Hobonichi cover. So that's a little shift that I've made in my life, which kind of brings me to, like, we're now in August. I assume that today is the 1st, I think. Yes, it is. So I guess Hobonichi is starting probably their reveals for 2026, which is exciting, but I don't want to know. Like, I don't want to see it. I don't want to be tempted by it. Last year I bought, all these weeks, all this stuff. I bought a couple of covers. I didn't buy a whole bunch of covers. I bought a few covers. Yeah, I bought a few covers. I saw things from years past that I had FOMO about and went and hunted down. I bought all kinds of little Hobonichi accessories and stickers, which I mean, I use some of that stuff. Some of it has been shoved into a drawer somewhere, but I use some of that stuff, all that little stuff. But like, I spent so much money and bought so much stuff, and like, I use I use this, I use this. So I have just this year, I've got to be so much more conscientious about Hobonichi season and thinking about what I want to do next year, not having grand plans about who I'm going to be next year, because guess what? I'm going with me into next year. So if I haven't used any of this stuff this year, what makes me think I'm going to use it next year? Um, More than likely, I'm not even going to place any kind of order from the Hobonichi website, especially since now they're saying there's no free shipping and you can only buy covers with a planner. I don't know if y'all saw that email. You can't just buy covers by themselves. So I won't be buying A5 covers from them because I don't want to use a cousin. I feel like there's going to be a lot of that. A lot of people buying, a whole setup and then selling the planner out of it. Um, so I mean, I understand like they're a business and I'm sure they're making decisions that they need to make. So like I'm not upset about it. What I'm saying is probably I'll take a look at what's coming out later on the month, maybe right towards the end of August, and um, see if there's anything. I'll probably will get a week's. I don't know. Like if there's something that I just can't live without, I might just get 1 week's to have for next year so that if I get the wild hair to use it, I have it. But also, why would I do that? Why would I do that? Like I'm going to try not to. Um, and maybe in November, if I'm like using my weeks all the time, then maybe I'll get a 2026 weeks to be ready for next year. So I am again, like I said, gonna get a Sterling Ink daily planner. This has been great. I really miss the old Tomoe River paper. You'll know my trusty Hipponoto that I use for ink stuff mostly is still going strong. Like I've used about a third of it, I guess, a little more than a third. Um, I miss this paper, and I have another Hipponoto that is lined that I could use, and I have a Hobonichi, yeah, no, not Hobonichi, a Nanami paper 7C's writer journal that's lined that I could use, and I have one B6 cafe note from Nanami paper. I have a couple of these Hobonichi notebooks that are old Tomoe River paper, and I can't use them. I can't bring myself to use them. I know that's so sad, and y'all are gonna tell me just use your stuff. And I know, like I tell myself this, and I tell other people this, but I can't. Like, it makes me sad that it's not gonna be around anymore. So I haven't. Like I use this, but I use this knowing that I have another one, even though the other one is lined. So, what am I saying? Anyway, that's where I'm at. I'm not displeased with how things are going this year at all. As far as, notebooks and things. I'm just like part of me is frustrated that I bought so many things last year that I'm not using. Like I said, probably gonna sell this. I have one of those like Midori journal sweater things that I'm gonna sell. I mean, I know I can't probably get all my money back for this because it's more than halfway through the year. Sometimes I think I'm gonna sell this, but then it's just so cute. But I need to pass it along and let someone enjoy it. I've heard about like the thing that you can cut out your interior of your weeks. and then put in another one. So basically you have like a reusable cover, and you just have to cover the year. That's really cool, but I don't know if I'm up for that, So anyway, how is your Hobonichi year, your planner, journaling stuff going? Let me know. I am going to be working on getting myself together to sell some things, including this. I've got a couple of pens. Still, this this pen is still, nobody has asked about it, but it's really pretty. I just don't reach for it. And then like this 30th anniversary Retro 51, I'm gonna let go. And then I have a couple other fountain pens too, but I have this box of pens from a friend who I'm helping her to sell them. So I'm working my way through those, getting them organized. A lot of them are like very entry level pens that will be for sale between $10 and $20. Some maybe even a little less than that, but pretty much 10 to 20, and then some, you know, more expensive than that, up to probably, probably not $200, I don't think, but up to the 120, 140 range, I think. So that's going to be coming. I'll probably use Instagram again to sell that stuff. I don't think I'm going to do a vlog sale for that stuff because it's not mine, and I don't want this channel just to all be about like, here's more things for you to buy from me. So unless y'all just really think I need to show it all to you, I probably won't do that. But anyway, that's kind of what's upcoming. As far as this channel, I have some more inks to swatch. I don't know. What do you want to see from me right now, fountain pen related? I sold so many pens. I'm really proud of like the number that I'm at right now with my pens. Like I tallied up the number of pens that I have that are, I think I did over $40 because it's easy to collect. I have a whole bunch of like $5 to $10 pens that I really like, Kakunos, and I mean those are a little more than that, but the little platinum meteors and stuff, and so I don't really count those, or like the little Jen Hao pens and stuff, but I calculated the number of things that I had that were more expensive. I'll just say like above 50, or did I go ahead and do like 75? Anyway, and the number that I'm down to, I was happy with. Like I was really happy with that, because there have been times before that I've done that calculation and been like, oh my gosh, why do I have just so much? And I still have more pens than any person needs in a lifetime. Like, let's be honest. But it's not, I don't feel so like overwhelmed with it. I still keep going back to my pen boxes and go, okay, like what else can I let go of? And I have a couple of things, because I just wish, like in the back of my head, I wish I could only have like 10 pens and be happy with it. But then I get to looking and I'm like, but I can't let these go. I love them. I love using them, So, so I'm not doing that. I don't have a lot more to let go of. That's what I meant to say. But maybe down the road, I'll be ready to let go of some more. Anyway, this has been Rambly here, but let me know what kind of thoughts you have about what you'd like to see from me coming up. I'm not buying a lot of pens, like unboxings were so easy to make videos about, and I'm not buying pens. So what do you want to see? What do you want to see from me? I would love to hear. Anyway, thank y'all for hanging out with me today. I'm sorry this has been so rambly at the end, but I appreciate you guys, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Take care. Bye.